Welcome to my channel, Super Rare Coins. Today is best top 3 coins. Please don't skip this video. So let's get it started. The 1985 P quarter dollar is part of the Washington Quarter Series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the Washington Quarter has been one of the most enduring designs in U.S. coinage history, lasting from 1932 until the statehood quarter program began in 1999. The 1985 issue belongs to the clad era, a period starting in 1965, when silver was permanently removed from circulating quarters due to rising bullion prices. The obverse of the coin bears a left-facing bust of George Washington modeled after Jean-Antoine Hedon's 1785 sculpture of the first U.S. president. Washington's strong yet calm profile represents leadership honor, and the founding of the nation, the word liberty, arcs above his head, a principle inseparably tied to Washington's legacy. The national motto, "In God We Trust," is inscribed to the left of Washington's neck, underscoring America's spiritual heritage. At the bottom appears the year of issue, 1985. Anchoring the coin historically till the right of Washington's neckline is the mint mark P, identifying the Philadelphia Mint as the issuing facility. The reverse of the coin retains Flanagan eagle center design in use since 1932. A bold bald eagle spreads its wings wide. In a commanding posture, the eagle's talons clutch a bundle of arrows representing the nation's readiness to defend itself, while just below rests an olive branch symbolizing peace. This pairing reflects the dual American values of strength and diplomacy. Encircling the eagle are inscriptions: United States of America above, E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one, above the eagle's head, and quarter dollar below. This reverse artwork captures the enduring power of national symbols, reflecting both America's heritage and its global standing. From a technical standpoint, the 1985 P quarter follows a standard clad composition introduced in 1965. IT consists of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This construction gives the coin its familiar silvery color while ensuring durability in circulation. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Its edge is reeded, a feature inherited from the days of silver coinage, when reeding was used to prevent shaving or clipping of precious metal. Even in the clad era, reeding remained for tactile recognition and tradition. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced this quarter, is the oldest U.S. mint facility established in 1792. The mint mark P had only recently begun appearing on quarters in 1980, so by 1985, the practice was still a relatively new addition. Prior to 1980, Philadelphia quarters carried no mint mark, making the P designation a modern identifier. In 1985, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 774 million quarters, making this coin extremely common in circulation at the time and even today. The historical context of 1985 gives this coin further interest. The mid-1980s were defined by the late Cold War years, the Reagan administration, and rapid social and technological changes. The economy was rebounding from the recession of the early 1980s. Consumer culture was booming, and personal computing was emerging as a mainstream technology. The 1985 P quarter was used daily by Americans for purchases at vending machines, gas stations, telephone booths, arcades, and grocery stores, though modest in value. It formed part of the fabric of everyday economic life. From a numismatic perspective, the 1985 P quarter is considered common, especially in circulated condition, where it is worth its face value of 25 cents. However, in higher grades, collector interest increases significantly. In uncirculated condition, MS65, the coin is valued between $5 and $10. At MS66, values can climb to $50, and in extremely high grades like MS67 certified examples can sell for several $100s, as such coins are rare due to production quality and handling. Proof issues from San Francisco with the S mint mark are also sought by collectors, especially in deep cameo condition. Collectors also watch for varieties and errors in the 1985 P quarter. Double die obverse or reverses off center strikes, broad strikes, or planchet errors can be worth significant premiums depending on rarity and eye appeal. Coins with strong, fully struck details, such as sharp hairlines on Washington or distinct eagle feathers, are particularly desirable to specialists in Washington quarters. The symbolism of the coin is both patriotic and timeless. Washington's portrait represents the birth of the Republic and the spirit of leadership and independence. The inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" reaffirm the nation's values, while the eagle on the reverse embodies freedom, vigilance, and unity. The motto, E Pluribus Unum, continues to remind Americans of unity across diversity, a particularly relevant message during the dynamic cultural shifts of the 1980s. In terms of cultural value, the 1985 P quarter serves as a bridge between the long-running traditional Washington quarters and the more dynamic coinage programs that would emerge in the 1990s and 2000s, such as the 50-state quarters program. While the 1985 issue may not feature a commemorative or artistic departure, embodies stability, continuity, and tradition in U.S. coinage design. In conclusion, the 1985 P Washington quarter dollar is a widespread, durable, and historically resonant coin. Though struck in hundreds of millions and common in circulation, it still holds strong symbolic weight through its designs of Washington and the eagle. For everyday Americans, it was simply a practical piece of money. For collectors, high grade. Examples, proofs, and error coins offer rich opportunities for study and value. This coin reminds us that even the most ordinary change in a pocket carries the weight of history, artistry, and national identity. Next, the 1987 P quarter dollar is a member of the long-running Washington Quarter Series, first issued in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. By the time of the 1987 issue, the Washington Quarter had already been in circulation for more than 5 decades, serving as one of the most widely used denominations of U.S. coinage. The 1987 quarters were struck at 3 main facilities of the United States Mint: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S for proof issues. The P mint mark on the 1987 quarter identifies that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most historically significant coin-producing facilities in the nation. The obverse design of the coin features a left-facing bust of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This portrait was created by sculptor John Flanagan, based on a famous 1785 bust of Washington made by French artist Jean-Antoine Houdon. Flanagan design had been used consistently on quarters since 1932, and in 1987, it still retained its classic appearance. At the top of the coin, the word "Liberty" is inscribed, symbolizing the ideals of freedom and independence that Washington himself fought to secure. To the left of Washington's profile is the motto, "In God We Trust," affirming the country's spiritual heritage and national identity. At the bottom is the year of issue, 1987, and to the right of Washington's neck is the mint mark P, identifying the Philadelphia Mint as the coin's place of origin. The reverse design of the 1987 P quarter depicts a majestic bald eagle, a long-standing symbol of American freedom and power. With wings spread wide, the eagle grasps a bundle of arrows in its talons, symbolizing strength and the nation's readiness to defend itself. Just below the eagle is an olive branch, which represents peace and the nation's commitment to diplomacy. This combination of arrows and olive branch balances the ideals of strength and peace. Surrounding the eagle are inscriptions at the top, "United States of America." Above the eagle's head, the Latin motto, "E Pluribus Unum," meaning out of many one. And at the bottom, the denomination, quarter dollar. The artistry of the reverse embodies America's national pride, resilience, and unity. From a technical perspective, the 1987 P quarter follows the clad coinage specifications that had been in place since 1965, after silver was removed from circulating quarters. Its composition consists of cupronickel with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. The total weight of the coin is 5.67 grams, with diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. The edge of the coin is reeded with 119 tiny grooves, a design originally intended to deter the shaving or clipping of precious metal from coin edges when coins were made of silver. Even after silver was no longer used, the reeded edge remained for continuity and ease of recognition. The Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was struck, is the original mint facility of the United States, dating back to 1792. In 1987, the Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of quarters for circulation, making the 1987 P quarter relatively common. In everyday commerce, Philadelphia coins are marked with the letter P, a practice that began for quarters in 1980. Prior to that year, Philadelphia issued quarters bore no mint mark, making the inclusion of P a relatively recent feature at the time of this coin production. The historical context of the year 1987 gives the coin further depth. This was a period in which America was experiencing late Cold War tensions and rapid technological advancement. President Ronald Reagan was serving his second term in office, and his economic and defense policies were shaping the country's trajectory. Meanwhile, ordinary Americans were using coins like the 1987 quarter daily in commerce at grocery stores, gas stations, payphones, and vending machines. Though simple in appearance, this quarter represents a piece of everyday history tying small transactions to the larger national and global events of the late 1980s. From a numismatic standpoint, the 1987 P quarter is considered common due to its very high mintage. Circulated examples hold only face value 25 cents and are widely available. However, for collectors, the real interest lies in finding uncirculated or mint state examples with sharp details and clean surfaces. Coins graded MS65, gem uncirculated, can bring values of $3 to $5, while higher grades such as MS67 are significantly scarcer and can fetch values exceeding $100 at auction. Proof quarters struck in San Francisco in 1987 with the S mint mark also attract collector attention, especially when preserved in pristine deep cameo condition. Error coins, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet errors, are rare but can be highly valuable. The symbolism of the 1987 P quarter is deeply rooted in American identity. The portrait of George Washington not only honors the first president, but also reminds citizens of leadership independence and the sacrifices made in the Revolutionary War. The eagle, arrows, and olive branch in the reverse balance ideals of defense and peace, emphasizing the dual priorities of strength and diplomacy. The mottos "In God We Trust" and "E Pluribus Unum" further reflect America's spiritual values and the unity of its diverse people. In conclusion, the 1987 P Washington quarter dollar is a small yet meaningful artifact of late 20th century America. Common in circulation, it carries within its design the values of liberty, unity, peace, and strength. For most, it was simply a 25-cent piece used in everyday life, but for collectors it offers opportunities to explore minting history, high-grade preservation, and numismatic variety. While its face value is modest, its historical significance and symbolism make it much more than just a coin. It is a reflection of America's enduring ideals in the year 1987. Next, the 1989 D quarter dollar from the United States is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1989, the coin had already been a familiar piece of American coinage for nearly 6 decades, circulating widely across the country. The quarter was essential in daily commerce, being the largest and most frequently used denomination of U.S. coins below the half-dollar. The D mint mark signifies that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the major facilities of the United States Mint. Millions were produced that year, making the coin common in circulation, but it still holds historic and collectible interest due to its design and era of production. The obverse front design of the 1989 D quarter features a left-facing bust of George Washington, the first president of the United States, designed by John Flanagan. This design was originally created in 1932 and was based on a bust of Washington by the French sculptor Jean-Antoine Hedon, considered one of the most accurate likenesses of the nation's founding father. Around the top edge of the coin appears the word liberty, while directly to the left of Washington's portrait is the American motto, "In God We Trust." At the bottom of the obverse is the date, 1989. To the right of Washington's ponytail, the small letter D indicates that the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. The obverse design symbolizes patriotism, liberty, and America's enduring respect for its first president. The reverse back design of the 1989 D quarter continues the eagle motif that had been used on quarters since 1932. The reverse features a powerful bald eagle with its wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons, a symbol of national defense and readiness to protect the nation. Below the eagle is an olive branch representing peace and diplomacy, which balances the martial symbolism of the arrows. The eagle is framed by the United States of America across the top and "E Pluribus Unum," meaning out of many one. Above the eagle's head at the bottom is a denomination quarter dollar, which makes the coin's value explicit. The design as a whole projects strength, unity, and balance between peace and preparedness. In terms of technical specifications, the 1989 D quarter follows a standard clad composition introduced in 1965 after silver was removed from most U.S. circulating coinage. Instead of silver, it is made a cupronickel-clad composition with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This gives the coin its characteristic silvery appearance while maintaining affordability for mass production. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Its edge is reeded with 119 tiny ridges designed originally as an anti-counterfeiting measure and also to help visually impaired individuals identify coins by touch. This composition and size allowed the quarter to be durable in circulation and compatible with vending machines and coin-operated devices across the nation. The Denver Mint, which produced this coin, has a long history of minting coins for general circulation. In 1989, the Mint struck over 896 million quarters with a D Mint mark, making the coin quite common. The Denver Mint is known for producing coins with clear, sharp strikes, though minor variations and errors sometimes occur, giving collectors opportunities to find interesting varieties. Coins struck at Denver carry the D Mint mark, while other 1989 quarters were produced in Philadelphia, no Mint mark, and San Francisco. Proof issues with an S Mint mark. The historical context of 1989 adds an extra layer of meaning to the coin. This year marked the end of the 1980s, a decade of significant political, economic, and cultural change in the United States. Internationally, 1989 was a pivotal year with events such as the fall of the Berlin Wall, signaling the decline of the Cold War. Domestically, President George H.W. Bush had just taken office following Ronald Reagan's 2 terms. While these events are not directly tied to the coin, they form part of the broader backdrop in which the 1989 quarter circulated, linking the everyday money of citizens to a time of transformation and optimism. From a numismatic perspective, the 1989 D quarter is considered common due to its very high mintage. In heavily circulated condition, its value is typically just 25 cents its face value. However, in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially in grades MS65 or higher, the coin can fetch between $2 and $10 depending on quality, and demand. Superb gem examples graded MS67 or higher are scarce and can bring much higher values, sometimes exceeding $100 at auction. Proof versions struck at San Francisco with an S Mint mark, especially in deep cameo condition, are also collector interest error coins. From 1989 D, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchet, are much more valuable and can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. The symbolism of the 1989 D quarter is profound. George Washington's portrait represents leadership, independence, and the birth of the American Republic. The eagle on the reverse is a quintessential national symbol of the United States, embodying freedom, vigilance, and power. The arrows signify defense and strength, while the olive branch stands for peace, underscoring America's dual commitment to protecting liberty while seeking harmony. The mottos, "In God We Trust" and "E Pluribus Unum," emphasize the spiritual foundation and unity of the nation. Together, these design elements create a coin that not only functions as currency, but also as a piece of symbolic art in everyday life. In conclusion, the 1989 D Washington quarter dollar is a fascinating piece of American coinage. Though common in circulation, it represents an important part of the long Washington quarter series and carries with it deep symbolism of patriotism, strength, and unity. With its copper-nickel composition, iconic imagery, and connection to the Denver Mint, the coin bridges everyday commerce with the nation's enduring history and values. For collectors, while circulated examples are abundant, high-grade mint state pieces, proofs, and error varieties provide real interest and potential value. More than just a 25-cent coin, the 1989 D quarter stands as a small but enduring artifact of late 20th century American life. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.